Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching. Still, the growing effect of drugs, abuse, gang violence in our society, in our country in general, it's really, it's something to, it's a huge disturbance. Like, it's a very huge disturbance in our society currently because every day, every day we lose a friend, a brother, a father, a sister, a mother to one of these things, and there's still not much effective solution or awareness towards this purpose. It's like we all say, but we tend to play deaf ears to them. And it's crazy because one thing about humans, we tend to like be ignorant until it gets to us. We tend to play deaf ears, we tend to play blind to these things that is in our environment, that is in our society, until it gets to us, until it gets to a family member, until it gets close to us. We need to start creating awareness towards this purpose. Like every passing day, there's either a friend, there's either a brother, there's either a father, a mother, a sister, a kid that loses their lives to one of this effect. I want to create awareness. I don't want to start from me and I don't want to end with me. For as many as we are, we can get our voices heard. It's a huge and growing concern in the environment today. Very huge and growing concern because it's crazy because it happens. We see it happens every day. It's either a friend, it's either a brother, it's either a father, it's either a kid, a mother, a sister that does lose their life to this growing effect in our country, in our society by the day. And we all tend to play deaf ears because it hasn't gotten to us. We need to start creating awareness towards this purpose, towards drug effects, drug abuse, gang violence. Like some days ago, some weeks ago, I actually got a call that a little friend of mine, a young friend of mine, had to lose their lives to this sort of things. And it's troublesome because, again, we all tend to play deaf ears until it gets to us, until it gets to our doorstep, until it gets to our friends, until it gets to our neighbors, until it gets to our brothers. We need to start creating awareness towards this purpose. Like every day, every passing day, a huge amount of humans, kids, brothers, fathers that goes into this stuff due to some are due to peer pressure, underlying issues, um, depression, a whole lot. For me, it's still not an excuse to involve in drugs because there's no way house going into drugs. It doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't give solution to it. It only powers it up more and makes it even worse. For gang violence, it's due to peer pressure. It's due to it's due to peer pressure. Uh, it's due to what is it called again? What's good, Assurance? What's good, Jacob? What's good? How are you guys doing today? What's happening, guys? Like I was saying, it's due to one thing or the other. It's either you're getting bullied, you're getting pressured by friends, by group, by environment, but it's still not a way out. It's still not a solution because the moment you involve yourself into these activities, you really need to start creating awareness. Like it starts from us. If we tend to pay therapy to them, it's definitely going to affect the generation that comes after. And when it comes after, it goes on and on. We need to do a bit as creating as much awareness. Yeah, I understand you. I understand you. Yeah, sorry about that. I understand you, Jacob. I don't have issues with you doing them. Can you control them? It's not about you doing them. It's not about you getting involved. Most people get involved without knowing the amount of control that thing gets into their life. If I don't have issues with you. We all have. The thing is that we all have habits. We all have one habit or the other we involve ourselves in. It's how well can you control these habits? Can you control them or you let them get a hold of you? It's a very simple way to live. I'm not the type that it's against anything. I'm not the type that's against anything. Because at the end of the day, we all as humans tend to do what we want to do. Yeah, that's all you need to do. That's all you need to do your best. But most people get involved without knowing the the effects of what it tends to have in their lives. Most people just get involved without knowing. Most people get involved due to one thing or the other, probably depression, prob- probably peer pressure, probably being around the wrong circle. You know, these things are not for everybody. The truth is that they are not for everybody. Hi, Senna. No, I don't know Turkish. I don't know Turkish. The truth is that they are not for everybody. Yeah, you can see a friend or you can see someone that does drugs and are probably living their better life, probably living their best life. It doesn't mean it has to be the same for the next person. It doesn't mean it would be the same for the other person. That's where we all get it wrong as humans. Just because Mr. A is doing it and it's going well for him doesn't mean it will go well for Mr. B if it doesn't. So we just need to like create as much awareness as to this stuff. We need to create as much awareness. We need to start telling ourselves the truth. One of the biggest that's actually humans. That's one of our biggest how would I put it? That's one of our biggest problems. When you fail to tell yourself the truth, you just live with the lies, with the whole lies and narrative of you not being able to tell yourself the truth. True assurance, like that's one of the main issues we are facing now in our country, Nigeria in particular. Like we have so many youths involved in drugs, and the government are actually not paying attention to this. We have so many youths involving in drugs and gang activities, and it's taking the life of our youths. These are supposed leaders of tomorrow, and you have young people having underlying health issues at a very young age, which is not supposed to be so. and it goes on like we all see these things, but we play deaf ears to them. Like you just said, you have a friend where it goes on because if you can't control if you can't control the little ones, the minimum, how can you control the maximum? When you get to that max, you can. If you can't control the minimum, how can you control the max? The truth is that, again, I don't discriminate. I don't, like to say, we all have things to go through in our lives, and one thing about humans, we tend to like always have an excuse. We tend to want to blame it on something. We just want to give excuse. We always have excuse to everything in life. We always have excuse to everything we're doing. It goes for me as well. We all have excuses. But with those excuses, if you're able to tell yourself the truth, you just find it just making way for you at the long run, because the truth, like they say, sets you free. It's not the truth to others, but the truth to yourself. When you begin to tell yourself the truth, it sets you free from everything you go through, like everything that seems like a captivity, everything that seems like a captivity, everything that seems like you can't do without. When you begin to tell yourself the truth, it sets you free automatically. Support the live, guys. If you're here, indicate by saying hi. Double tap the screen to support the live. Share the live. Let's create as much awareness as to this. We need to be able to tell ourselves the truth as humans. To be able to grow, you need to tell yourself the truth. It's really, really eating up our environment, our society, each and every day. I don't know. I'll do my bit. I'll do as much as I can to bring it out there, to create this awareness. It's not a way out. Drug and gang violence is definitely not the way out. If you're going through depression, if you're going through peer pressure, if you're going through bullies, those are not the way out. Believe me, those are not the way out. There's so many other ways you could go through this stuff. And drugs, gang, violence, si- all those are probably not the way out for none of those stuff. You're welcome to the live chat, guys. If you're just joining us, please double tap the screen to support the live. If you're here, indicate by saying hi. So what do you think? If you get, please, what do you think could probably be the best solution as to tackling these issues? And one thing I must say is that for the drugs and the gang aspect, most people that are celebrated, most people that we actually have occurrence to like online are representative that mostly celebrated are so-called celebrities. They actually they actually are a main cause to these issues because they tend to preach about it like it's the best way of life. They tend to like celebrate it. They tend to appreciate it. They have it in their lyrics. They have it in their songs, in the way of life. And these people don't tell you. They don't tell you the negative aspect of it. They just come online. They just come. They just put it in music. They only tell you about the good part. They only tell you about the part that makes them feel better. And you, as a common man, you as just a random man, a random guy, a random girl, a random lady, you get involved in these things without knowing the disadvantage, and the way out. You know, one thing about our celebrities, they do have a way out. They have money. They have they have doctors. They have advisors. They have management. They have people that guide them through these things in life. When it gets to a point, they have these funds. They have this money to take care of themselves. They have this money to go for a proper checkup, get the best of medications, best of treatments. But you, as a common guy that gets involved with all these things, you know nothing about them. You only get to hear about the interesting and sweet parts. Like they preach these things to you like it's the best way of life. They sing about it in the music. They have you dancing to it. I dance to it as well. No lies. But at the long run, you still need to tell yourself the truth. Is that a way of life for you? Is that a way of life for you as a random person? Like it's really, really eating up our youth. Like the 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 I, I really wish we could like be out more in public, in the streets, to see these things. Like you just it's really, really troublesome. Believe me, it's really, really troublesome. It's a big issues. We have so many so many gang activities, and it's crazy because we have our we have our brothers, we have our sisters, we have our youths, we have fathers killing themselves over nothing. That's the aspect for the gang violence. These people are killing themselves over nothing. And our society tends to like they just play deaf ears to them. Like, oh, you probably you get the news like somebody just died over there, somebody just lost his life over there. And the next man will just go, it's probably one of those court issues or those gang issues. We just throw it and sweep it under the rug. The next day it happens again. The next day it happens again. It goes on and on. We all tend to play deaf ears. We all tend to be ignorant about this stuff until it actually gets us. If it doesn't get to our doorstep, it's not happening or it's not relevant. We really need to start creating awareness. We really need to start lending our voice to these issues. That's the only way we can make our environment. That's the only way we can make our country better. Because it gets crazy by the day. See? Yeah, that's one of the effects of getting involved in drugs. It's difficult for you just tend to like want to go way beyond your previous um you just tend to like want to go way beyond your previous gauge or your previous whatever. Like you just want to be you don't plan to reduce them. You plan to go higher after the next one. You want to try something else. You always want to try something else, something new. That's the whole effect about drugs. You don't think about stopping when you just start. All you think about is what's the next one? What's the next one? What's the next one? What do you think? Please, what do you think? If you're here, what do you think is the best way and solutions to us to having these issues tackled in our environment? Yeah, how can we tackle these issues like this? Issues of drugs, gang violence in our environment, in our society. I want your opinion, guys. What do you think is the best way and form we could actually tackle these issues of drugs, cultism, gang violence in our environment? Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the live chat. If you just us, please indicate by saying hi if you're here. Double tap the screen to support the live. Please share the live, guys. Let's create as much awareness as to the solution, as to this problem, sorry, in our society, in our country, in our environment. Let's do our bit, please, guys. It definitely doesn't stop here. For as long as we can, we will create as much awareness as to these problems. We will always speak out. We will always have our voices heard. Yeah, as many as will be to listen. We will always speak against this because it's really, really, really eating up our environment, our society, our country as a whole. Please, let's spread this awareness. Let's spread this information. Let's civilize today. Let's have a brother. Let's have a father, mother, or sister. Say no to drugs. Say no to gang violence. It's not the way out. It's definitely not the way out. For now, guys, have a nice day. Have a great day.